The culture of Indigenous Australians is one of the oldest in the world. Their ancient stories have been passed down from generation to generation. And it's this sacred culture that we're celebrating on today's show. Thanks for joining me. There are many authentic experiences to be had right here in beautiful tropical North Queensland. And where better to start than in the heritage-listed rainforest of Mossman Gorge. The traditional owners of this land are the Gugu Yalanji people. Not a bad spot you've got here.
Definitely. Paradise.
Paradise. Let's just call it that, will we?
Yeah, definitely.
Skip is one of the local guides who shares this special place with visitors. Before we enter the rainforest, it's custom that every Dreamtime walk begins with a traditional smoking ceremony.
It's a form of respect.
Yep.
Respecting the elders of our tribes and respecting the rainforest that we're about to walk in.
Good, I want to do that.
Excellent. Yura yalen gaden nanjin nanga bubuna jane na wada wujal boy gubu yalada.
It's very peaceful. I do feel like we are in a special place.
Yes. Well, one of the oldest tropical rainforests in the world. Alrighty, so in this rainforest here, there's approximately 920 different tree species. Coming up to one of our most used woods in the rainforest is our red cedar.
Oh, that is a beauty.
In our language for this particular tree here, we say marakan.
Marakan.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, through the early settlers, when they logged the rainforest, this is one of the particular woods that they targeted. To them, it's called red gold.
Sadly, this grand old dame is one of the few remaining red cedars in the rainforest. It's hoped that by sharing stories like these with visitors, they will in turn preserve this special place.
Now, this is an area, a part of the rainforest where on all my walks I pull up and stop people here. And the reason why I do this is I actually let the rainforest know that the people with me are not strangers. They're friends of mine. We're just coming on a walk. Keep them safe. We're not staying long as we journey back out. Kangari, binga binga gamba gamba, na yo yanganda, you're a wibalaji, ne jowan jowan, nale dongai badja, garabija, yalada.
For thousands of years, tribes have held special ceremonies on this sacred land. During these occasions, it was important to have your tribe's markings painted on your body.
This is all based on identification. It's like you, when you travel to another country, you need a passport. The paint and designs were our passport to move into the next area. So the dots for us here represents the raindrops falling in the rainforest. You'll actually find that the simple dot has brought the whole world together today.
Why? What do you mean?
www.com.
Stop it! The next part of my journey along the Mossman Gorge is a very special one. It can only be enjoyed if you're in the company of a traditional owner.
So with the water, we say banna. As we know, water is the essence of life. The water is a provider. So it is basically seen as we would see a spiritual almighty power. Wasn't one thing, it was everything combined to make one.
I am a little jealous that this is where you come every day.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is my office.
It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Luckily, my stay in Mossman isn't over yet. The Silky Oaks Lodge is perched right on the Mossman River, making the most of its surroundings. This is a place where you really feel at one with nature. I mean, how could you not? Life doesn't get much better than this. This is what I call a luxury treehouse, complete with your very own outdoor daybed and the bath to die for. The man behind this piece of paradise is Paul Van Min.
I thought the location here is great because it's an hour from the airport in Cairns, it's 20 minutes from Port Douglas, so you can do all the barrier reef, you can do everything here. You don't get bored, but a lot of people love to actually do nothing.
That's what I was going to say.
They're sitting on the balcony, looking out over the river, having a lovely bottle of wine. And
just absorbing all this beautiful nature.
Just getting away from the rat race and just enjoying being immersed in the aura of the rainforest. I think that's the biggest asset.
The location isn't the only feast for the eyes. The restaurant sources as much local produce as possible to use at the lodge, and every day they get different reef fish. It looks delicious and it's quite a work of art. And stick around because there is plenty of creative inspiration coming up after the break. Welcome back to Queensland Weekender and to my journey north discovering one of the oldest living cultures in the world. For thousands of years, Indigenous Australians have used many forms of storytelling to preserve the past. Song, dance and, of course, art. Art Gallery is in the centre of Mossman. It's where talented artist Binna shares stories of his culture. But he also has his own story to tell.
So I was born deaf. My lucky to speak well, okay. But
from a young age, he taught himself to lip read. As for art, well, that ran in the family.
We named the gallery after my mum, Jumbo, because this is where my mum first painted here and sitting under the house.
What was once the old family home is now a space for visitors to learn about his culture and craft.
On cave paintings are the Dreamtime stories. That's very, very important. That belonged to my people in the past.
During the workshop, we get to paint our own story on a boomerang made by Binna.
So you guys ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, off you guys go.
This is quite amazing. There's very intense concentration in this. Very. But it doesn't take long for everyone to loosen up.
It's about life, it's about fun, having art class and all storytelling.
All right, guys, ready? 1, 2, 3, Binna!
Binna! From our afternoon to the coastline of Port Douglas. This tropical stretch of town is where you'll find the Coconut Grove apartments. The rooms are grand, but small touches make you feel right at home. And as an added bonus, a private balcony with your very own swimming pool. Thank you. See you. Well, I've settled in beautifully upstairs and now it's time to think about dinner. And while there are plenty of great seafood options on the main drag, Morgan here at the front office has booked me a special treat that's more rainforest than reef. Flames of the Forest is Australia's only rainforest dining experience.
Pass the sparkling.
Thank you. It's beautiful. When day turns to night, the forest transforms into an enchanting scene, enriched with Indigenous flavour. From the pathway, we're led to our restaurant for the evening, and I've got to say, it brings a whole new meaning to a candlelit dinner. I haven't been in town long, but I've already spotted a familiar face.
The traditional grounds of the Guugi people.
Our friend Skip from Mossman Gorge moonlights here as a master of ceremonies alongside his brother Ray. The pair offer guests a once-in-a-lifetime experience to learn about Indigenous culture.
Giraki. Can you all have a turn of that?
Giraki.
Terrible.
Throughout the evening, local produce is served. What a feast.
It smells very good.
Our dining room for the evening was once a place where tribes would gather to tell stories.
Aboriginal people, we have that unwritten history. You know, we have an unwritten language, basically, and when we told stories, it was handed down through the generations. When we told the story to the people, then the people becomes their responsibility to be able to pass it on.
If only we could all understand those stories, those languages, how much a better world we'd be in today.
But when you come to a sacred area like Flames of the Forest, you know, you're having dinner under the stars. There's not many places that you can, have those experiences and whatnot. So I personally love to send people away on a spiritual floatness, on a spiritual experience.
This is my very first time to experience Flames of the Forest, and I will definitely be leaving here on a spiritual high. From here, I'm heading south to Cairns, and I'll see you there after the break. The mountains and gorges near the tropical city of Cairns were originally inhabited by the Jabberkai people. The traditional owners of this country have a vibrant culture, and if you want to experience it coming to life, then I suggest you visit this place. Jabberkai Cultural Park offers visitors unique Indigenous experiences. The saying, "Look, don't touch," certainly does not apply here.
Left shoulder face target. As you can see, I'm vegetarian.
Fittingly, Gordon Hunter is teaching us about ancient hunting techniques, starting with spear throwing. Okay, here we go. Oh! It just floated over. It might hit the wallaby on the head. No wallaby for dinner for me. A good tradeswoman never blames her tools, but it can't hurt to try something else. Many visitors will be leaving here with a boomerang as a souvenir, but I bet they didn't expect to learn how to throw one. If you run, I run?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're... Okay, well, get ready to run, because anything could happen here. Oh! Oh, I think I killed something over there then.
Yeah.
I got the wallaby for dinner tonight.
Grasshopper.
Yeah, a grasshopper. Thanks. Clearly, hunting is not my thing. But paint and art? Now we're talking.
These also represents our two seasons, which is the wet side. We use black and white, and the dry side is this one here, yellow and red. In our language for the dry side, we say guruminya.
Minya, I hear the old cattlemen call cattle.
Yeah,
Minya. This is
What
very
tribe
pretty.
you from?
I've snuck in, haven't I?
Yeah.
So tell me, so the dry side colours,
Yep.
and why the black around the edge?
That's the banks of the Barren River. Yeah. So I'm talking about the Barren River.
The Barren
one up
River.
in Kuranda. Yeah. So we still survive off it today.
Yes.
Provides all the good fish.
Yum.
Yeah.
I won't ask where the secret spots are.
Yeah. I can't tell you.
No, it's a secret. While waterways are a main food source, the bush provides just as much. Rainforest Station Nature Park is in the mountain village of Kuranda. It's home to the Pamagiri Cultural Centre, where visitors can get a real taste of Aboriginal culture by joining a guided bush tucker walk.
Yeah, this is sort of our little way of welcoming you onto our country.
Lewis is a direct descendant of the Jabberkai people, and he now shares his ancestors' knowledge of hunting and gathering with others. So don't swallow these? Okay, glad you told me that. As well as knowing what you could eat, they also knew what time of year to eat it.
These are two of our signal plants, or calendar plants as you would call them. So when certain plants blossom flowers or bear certain fruit, we can go hunting for different types of animals. That's your water cherry or river cherry, just that one there.
Yep.
So when they're bright pink, bright red, that's when you can eat it. They actually grow all along of our riverbeds inland, and the fruit actually falls into the water. They're very, very buoyant, so they can float, and the freshwater fish would come up and eat them, all right, and they become really fat. And that was a little sign for our people to go hunting for freshwater fish. It's amazing how we've managed to keep this knowledge in our head, and it's passed down from the elders. And for us to be able to know that in today's more modern society, yeah, it's quite amazing. Yeah.
Dance is yet another ancient tradition being kept well alive. Lewis is part of the Pamagiri dance group, who perform stories passed down from generation to generation. Now, I heard there was a surprise for the audience at the end, but I didn't realise it would be me learning how to be a Pamagiri dancer. What a great time I've had in Jabberkai country, and luckily for me, this isn't the end of my rainforest adventure. I've followed the Barren River a little further upstream to this hidden gem. The Grand Barren Lodge is grand in every sense of the word. The property has been lovingly restored, while still holding on to the beautiful features of the past. There are 3 homely rooms to choose from, and shared living areas for guests to mingle. Cozy up near the fireplace or step outside to take in this magnificent view. After the break, I head down the mountain range to the city of Cairns for a festival that celebrates its Indigenous heritage.
We have the rainforest, we have the islands, we have the reefs, so we've got a lot to be proud of and to show off through art.
Welcome back to Queensland Weekender. On this trip, I've met some incredible characters who are proudly preserving their ancient culture. There is no doubt that the heart of tropical North Queensland beats with a strong Indigenous identity, and what a way to come together. The Cairns Indigenous Art Fair, or QIAF, is a celebration of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander art and culture. This year's theme is Connection to Country, featuring works from around 300 artists and 150 performers. Artistic director Janina Harding is behind this celebrated event.
I think it's one of a kind in Australia and probably the world, where you can come to a regional city like Cairns and see this culture that's so strong. A lot of people don't have the means to go to some of these communities, but it's a one-stop shop once you come to Cairns and to the Cairns Indigenous Art Fair to see these communities and see them in action. They're dancing, they're telling stories, they're talking about art. You know, it's just a wonderful thing to actually, you know, sit down and share dialogue and learn about our cultures.
As well as curating the festival, Janina facilitated an exhibition called Pride in Authority that's on display here at the Tanks Art Centre. As part of the project, she visited 3 remote Aboriginal communities and encouraged them to experiment with photography.
We brought professional photographers with us to teach them, you know, basic skills, but, you know, they spent like 2 minutes learning it and off they went. They were traipsing around the country, you know, around their country, taking photographs, and they already knew about composition, textures, and you'll see some of the results here today. One of the things that I got from this whole exercise through this project was the kids sitting down listening to elders once again. You know, there's still that continual connection to culture, to the stories.
The QIAF Art Awards were introduced last year to shine a light on Queensland and Torres Strait Islander artists sharing their stories. In a first this year, photography was introduced as a new award category. Naomi Hobson won the award for her work, A Warrior Without a Weapon.
We've got a men's group, active men's group back home. I'm from Cohen in Cape York. One of the topic was that they were sad of the media that was portraying their identity, their appearance, their look. I was thinking, oh, their story needs to be told. I was thinking, how could I do this? Well, art's a terrific platform to get a strong message out there to the world.
There are so many inspiring stories being told here at QIAF. Making its debut on stage is Bukal, performed by Jute Theatre Company. The production tells the tale of an extraordinary woman, Henrietta Murray, who was the first Aboriginal Australian appointed full-time to work with the United Nations.
It just shows that it doesn't matter who you are, if you apply and challenge yourself, you can get anywhere, and that's really what it was all about.
Her incredible story is brought to life during the captivating performance.
I gotta say, you know, all credit goes to the 3 Bukal who played me, and the emotions they put into it is what really makes the play.
This has certainly been a memorable trip, and I hope that you'll make your way up north to discover the rich Indigenous culture that awaits. For more information on everything you've seen today, head over to our website. For more holiday ideas, visit queensland.com and Queensland Rail Travel. And remember to tag your favourite holiday snaps or scenery shots to Queensland Weekender.